Right now, while you're watching this, a homeowner somewhere just texted an HVAC company asking about a broken AC unit. It's 9 p.m. Nobody answered. They moved on to the next name on their Google search. That job, worth anywhere from $300 to $2,000, just walked out the door. And here's the part that stings. You probably paid to get that lead in the first place. Studies on service business lead response show that companies that respond to an inquiry within 5 minutes are 9 times more likely to close the job than companies that respond after 30 minutes. 9 times. Illustrative. Based on Lead Connect/Harvard Business Review service industry response time research. And after hours? The average HVAC company doesn't respond until the next business morning. Anywhere from 8 to 14 hours later. By then, 60% of those leads have already booked someone else. Illustrative estimate based on service industry lead falloff data. If you're running a 1 to 5 truck HVAC operation, that's not a small problem. That's potentially tens of thousands of dollars a year evaporating from leads you already earned. So today I want to give you 3 concrete fixes you can implement this week to stop losing the leads you already paid for. First, you need to actually diagnose the leak. Most owners don't know what happens to inbound calls and texts between 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. because nobody's tracking it. Here's a quick audit. Pull your last 30 days of call logs and texts. Highlight anything that came in after your office closed. Now count how many of those got a response within 1 hour. If that number is below 50%, you have a measurable leak in your pipeline. Some shop owners I've talked to are genuinely shocked when they run this audit. They thought their answering service was handling it. They thought their technicians might be responding. Nobody was. The lead sat there until morning and the customer moved on. You can't fix what you don't measure. Run the audit this week. It takes 20 minutes and it will tell you exactly how much money is leaking. Phone calls after hours are hard. But texts? Texts can be handled without a live person on duty if you set the right system up. Here's the minimum viable standard. Every inbound text, day or night, should get a response within 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a full conversation. It just needs to acknowledge the customer, confirm you received their request, and set an expectation. Something as simple as, "Hey, we got your message about your AC. Our team is reviewing it right now and will call you within the hour," can be enough to keep a customer from immediately clicking the next competitor on their screen. That response time benchmark matters more than you think. When a homeowner texts 3 companies at 9 p.m., the first one to acknowledge them has a massive advantage. They're not necessarily going to wait for the best price. They're going to go with whoever made them feel like they weren't going to be ignored. Build the habit of response time accountability into your team. Make it a KPI. Track it weekly. Who's responding to leads, how fast, and what's the outcome? Not every after-hours contact is the same. A homeowner whose AC is out in July heat is in a very different emotional state than someone who wants to schedule a tune-up for next Tuesday. You need to handle those 2 types differently. Emergency leads, systems down, no cool air, elderly or young children in the home. Need a human response or something close to it, fast. Those customers will pay emergency rates gladly because they need relief now. Losing those leads is especially painful because the average ticket value on emergency calls is significantly higher than a routine service visit. For non-emergency after-hours contacts, a solid intake flow, even an automated one, can qualify the situation, capture the customer's details, and slot them into your scheduling queue without you or your team losing sleep. The key is that the customer feels heard and has a clear expectation of when they'll hear back. Build 2 lanes. One for emergencies, one for routine. Different response urgency, different messaging, different escalation path. Now if you want to actually automate the intake and response piece, so that every inbound text gets handled instantly, the lead gets qualified, and a booking gets started, there are AI-powered tools built specifically for this. One of them is Maya at HeatBooker. It's an AI texting agent designed for HVAC and home service companies. It answers every inbound text in seconds, asks the right qualifying questions, and starts the booking process, around the clock. Worth looking into if you want to take the manual lift off your team. You can check it out at heatbooker.com. Whether you go that route or build the process manually, the principle is the same. Your lead intake cannot have a gap between 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. That gap is costing you real money every single week. So let's recap. 3 fixes for your after-hours lead leak. Number 1. Run a 20-minute audit on your last 30 days of inbound contacts. Find out exactly how many leads fell through the gap. Number 2. Establish a text response standard. 5 to 10 minutes max, day or night. And hold your team or your system accountable to it. Number 3. Separate emergency lead flow from routine scheduling. Your highest value leads need to be treated like the emergencies they are. Here's the question I want you to sit with. How much revenue do you think you've lost in the last 12 months from leads that went cold overnight? Drop your honest estimate in the comments. I'm curious what the number looks like when you actually run the audit. This is Margin and Wrench. New playbook every day. Hit subscribe if you want tomorrow's.